some things we just don't believe in reality. This is all reality.
They fed us some harsh lessons about our adolescence, how they mastered their chemistry sessions to rise from recession. They refused to fail, seen the scale with bigger.
Bathi khuluma labo mfana bathi kama kanjani ulungani kwalalo aka umfana kaShokolate. I am too sweet, you cannot swallow me, you can only kiss me. Welcome to the Global Sunday Show. It's another Sunday, it's another beautiful day. Let me just hint you a little bit on what we have today. Before I waste any time, because I know most of you know already what's going on. Let me say this. If you are younger than 18 years old, please just go to your bedroom and fall asleep. You know, if you don't have any ideas of how you can fall asleep, you can count ships, you know. You can count ships, or you can watch our previous shows until you fall asleep, because today it's gonna get crazy. Today it's gonna get serious. Today, you know, if you are lost and you are in the hip-hop industry, you don't have a direction, today you will find a direction. Today you will find out what real rap is and what real hip-hop is. Oh my God, welcome to the show. But without wasting any time, let me just reveal my beautiful lovely hosts. Yes, from Germany we have People Tafel. From South Africa we have Miss Classic, the queen of a Global Sunday. And from America, Arizona, we have Mr. Laden, the professor of ballet. Yeah. Welcome to the show, guys. And just take over. Just forget about me. Take over the show.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Mr. Ludden, and welcome to Global Sunday. Today is May 30th, and we have a wonderful, wonderful guest today. But also we are dealing with some major changes in the hip-hop industry. And so I would like to turn over to Miss Classic. Now, normally at the beginning of the show, we talk about the week we had. And so Miss Classic, tell us about your week, but tell us what you're able to tell us, okay? You've had a very difficult week, I know. We love you and we stand by you in this time.
Welcome to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Laden. I welcome all my viewers at home and our beautiful, handsome hosts, and to our producer, Lungan Gwala. I greet you all. I'm in South Africa in Devon, and had a very, very, very good week, despite the other the 2 weeks ago that I was not with you. But I'm back now. Life has to go on, and I can share a lot of good memories with my late son, O2, and I'm so grateful that he did share beautiful memories with our handsome guest that we have today from New York, William Bostick. And my week was okay. So what kept me going? It's my music and all the things that I get to do so that I don't get depressed. I keep busy all the time, as you know. So I received my copy of the album I did with Mam Mhlope. The name of the album is African Mother Christmas. We did it with Mam Gcina. There's an album. So if anyone wants it, you can just inbox Lungani or myself. Then you can get a copy of yourself and hear beautiful poetry with jazz music that is done by Mam Gcina Mhlope and featuring Miss Classic, which is me, the Queen of Global Sundays, in 2 songs. Rather than that, I celebrated that because they were having a festival at the K-Cap Kwamashu, and I had to meet Umam Stella Kumalo, the top people from Department of Arts and Culture, and they were embracing the culture. And I had the event that took place in Kwamashu Station of Hip Hop, the Hood Up with Dude, and it was sponsored by Inanda at 8.4 FM. So that's where I spent my evening yesterday, and it was a lovely evening. The performers were lovely, and the guys were rapping nice words, music, poetry in rap music. And then I finished it up with my lovely interview with Smongile Mngoma, our singer, our opera soprano singer, our music coach. And I had a very nice call after the interview of sharing a lot of things about how to deal with depression, and her offering how to work together with me. So that's the end of my week. It's still going to be awesome as I'm here at the Global Sundays. So stay tuned. Now I'm going to just throw it back to people, the people Tafel. Over to you.
Miss Classic.
People, are you there?
Great to have you back. Welcome back. And it's also good to see you, Mr. Ludden. And like we just heard already about hip hop, I had the chance to get into material of listening to music of O2 and the group, and I got in touch with one of the musicians, and it's beautiful to feel that there is something out there which is like a family. However, it's not the biological family. So when there are people that we work with and also that we share our passion with, there is something very strong about this, and it gave me a chance to remember it and also to look at some of the music I've been listening more when I was a little bit younger. You know, I come from Stuttgart, and Stuttgart is the city of a main city of German hip hop, actually. So there's a Freundeskreis, and I remember how I saw a film at 19 by Don Felipe was the music, and it was a tragic film called Otomo, about a guy who gets controlled in the tram, and they say he doesn't have a ticket, and then he gets upset and he runs away, and in the end he ends up killing 4 policemen or 5. And it really happened in Stuttgart, and it has the beats of Don Felipe under it, and it couldn't be better. It has a quality that I have never heard before. And although I'm not a big hip-hop experienced guy, there's some stuff I've listened to and it speaks about things. And I I'm a bit old school, so I listened to Jill Scott Heron, and I was very inspired this week. And also, projects are progressing. I'm working on a project, and things became more clear. So I will be directing a podcast with artists from the performing arts, from the 40s and 50s. So there's a lot of things going on.
That's wonderful. And what everybody is really speaking toward is the fact that in the arts, we are a family. We are only separated geographically, and we artists move around so much that even that becomes irrelevant. And so let's take a look at the entertainment news, all of our fellow family members around the world. Lungani, if you'd take us into the entertainment news report, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Laden. Thank you so much, people. Miss Classic, my lovely host. What I have for you today, viewers at home, I have two things only that I will share with you. The first thing is that I will announce the winner. If you remember, we have been running a competition that is happening in Gauteng. It's called Faces of Z Models, and this week there was a challenge where they had to post their photos, and whoever get the most likes will win a prize from the sponsors that sponsored the show. So this is really awesome. So today I'll be announcing the winner of this challenge, and then also three things actually, and also I'll be telling people about the event that is coming, the Global Sunday event, the first annual celebration and youth month that is coming in a few weeks time, which is really, really awesome. So I will share a private poster. This poster I will share with you. You are fortunate that you are watching the Global Sunday today, because this poster is not out yet. So you are seeing some private stuff because you're part of the family. And then I will be playing a music video by Swift. If you remember Swift Bigo, we had him on the show previously. He was a special guest. So he released a new music video a few weeks ago called 10 out of 10. So I'll be playing that video. So let us start with the event on the 12th of June, the celebration of the Global Sunday Fest annual. I am so excited. I'm sure everybody's so excited right now. And I've been getting a lot of messages. If you're watching right now and you're one of the people who've been sending me messages asking me about the venue, about what's going on, information is going to come out soon. This is a very important event for all of us, the followers of Global Sunday, the guests of Global Sunday, and the host of Global Sunday. So it's really going to be amazing. Let me see if I can just stretch that a little bit so it can be right in front of my face and everybody can see it. We're talking about performers like Aboscelo Gowane, Thandi Soni, Zizi Kingston, Shinely Greens, the schoolmates, DJ Katanov, Katafondi, Zulu Pavarotti, Damon. We're talking about but there's a lot of them. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be packed. You cannot miss this one. If you wanna support by purchasing a ticket, please kindly do so. Do get in contact or send us an email or send us an inbox on our Facebook page. You definitely going to be part of this. Who knows? Maybe the location is going to be private. So if you contact us now and get your tickets, trust me, your ticket is going to do a huge difference in different communities in South Africa, since we are facing hard times now. Drum roll for the moments that everybody has been waiting for. The winner of the Z Models Like My Pick Challenge is model number 020. Yeah, so if you are watching, congratulations to you, number 020. You just won yourself a prize. The competition has not ended yet. It still continues. So do tune into the Global Sunday so you can get informed. Don't stay behind. It's really awesome. It's really crazy. We have a huge support for youth. And since we are getting into Youth Month, we're going to be much more focusing on the youth. So yeah, without wasting any time, let me play you this music video from Uswif. Swift saying 10 out of 10. This is my guy. I always tease him and say, hey man, you stole my song. Because there's this song that he recently made, and I love it. I mean, it's so amazing. It's so chilled. It's a nice track. And I was like, hey man, I wrote this track. And he was like, hey man, shut up. Because people are going to believe you. They believe everything that you said. I was like, everybody believe everything that I say? Let me see. Anyways, I'm not going to share what I'm thinking of right now. But yeah, let's check out this music video. And then we continue with our beautiful host, Miss Klasiki, Mr. Ken Laden, Pipo Tafel, and then we reveal our guest, William Bostick. Enjoy the show. I will be with you and I will see you later. Lungani Kwala Beti. Lungani Kwala, aka Chocolate Kid Leo. I am signing out.
Ten out of 10. 10 out of 10. I win. 10 up, 10 up, 10 up. 10 out of 10, 10 up. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I be perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Soma ngibela ungayi 10, I win. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I be perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Baba ngibela ungayi 10, I win. My first single sound like an album. My album sound like a career. This shit that I'm dropping right now could end up Umchida's career. They told me to stop playing fair, cause none of this shit does play fair. And none of this against it close to you, swift you had God and you right over there like tippy-toeing at the top. Got this nigga nose against toes like it's belly time. Oh my god, got this nigga nose in their feelings like it's Valentine's. Cause they sisters and their girlfriend sisters got my music on blast like all the time. And their mothers and their mothers' friends got my music on blast, it's overtime. Young kid doing major. Remember when you said I wouldn't? Now I'm out you doing 10 times better than I ever thought. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I'm in perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Soma ngibela ungayi 10, I win. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I'm in perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Baba ngibela ungayi 10, I win. All they feel just keep it real. This again 20 fake, they never real. Your favorite rapper stole 4 bars from my tape, yeah, let's keep it real. He didn't think I'd show up to the scene and show the people who the realest be. But now I'm rubbing shoulders with the so-and-sos, they know who the realest be. So I ain't mad at you, man. Gakbono yes, I'm again. Mistala maspela, man, again, the scumbag and Holland, so guy, I'm a holla. See, I'm dirt, CD rapping, don't you niggas know we don't run out of style. Creating style is my lifestyle, pushing 5 now, not my chance now. Got a pipeline full of future plans, future looking bright. I see rollers coming, I see mentions coming, I see deals coming, I see millions coming in the bag. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I'm in perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Soma ngibela ungayi 10, I win. 11 times out of 10, I win. Cherry, I'm in perfect 10, I win. Funa mame tanga 10, I win. Baba ngibela ungayi 10, I win. I win. I win.
Welcome back. This is the one and only Queen of Global Sundays. I welcome all of you, my lovely good people, to the Global Sundays, especially the one that is sending a lovely message right now. That is the one and only the sister to our late Sheila Kumalo, Ubarbara Kumalo. Siyabonga sisi, you welcome at the Global Sundays. This is your home. You can always feel the love. And your sister spirit is always going to remain with us here in South Africa and internationally. And I also want to welcome everyone who is tuning in right now. Please share in your Facebook page. And I welcome all the hosts, including our handsome hip-hop rapper, the DJ, and the producer, Mr. William Bostick. All the way from New York, in the house. Boo, 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 boo.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on?
We are so glad to have you here.
Appreciate you for having me. I really do appreciate you for having me on Global Sunday.
So you are really making a big splash on the scene now. Tell our viewers about yourself, about your music, and your journey. It's a very impressive journey.
Name's William Bostick, Brooklyn, New York representative. I tried to, I consider myself one of the I guess, pioneers and front runners of the grimy hip hop movement. I make real grimy, straight hip hop. I paint pictures, with words. I give you the realities of the streets of how we grew up and some of the things that are still presently going on in the streets. I'm not here to give anyone a fantasy, some pretend, story. Everything in my music is factual. It comes from what we see and what we grow up seeing every day and what goes on around us every day.
It's really hard hitting, one of the things I really like, and one of your songs, which we'll be sharing later in this broadcast, is called Mathematics. And you do that. You paint a picture. You show and tell what's actually happening and what you're faced with, what youth is faced with in urban cities these days. And then instead of making a comment about it, you say, you do the mathematics. In other words, this world has just got to step up and show up and understand that, what you're made of is what you're fed, and what this world is feeding our young generation. We got to do something about it because it's not right.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. Definitely isn't. More people need to step up and realize that the violence in the inner city communities is also, attributed to, lack of after school programs for these kids, lack of just anything for them to do. There's no more sports programs for them. There's no more music programs in the schools for them. So, the violence that we deal with every day is due to a lot of these young kids growing up really not having any father figures or nothing to do. It's, it comes from boredom, honestly. I know the young kids that I speak to all the time, they got nothing to do. And the majority of them are not even going to school. So they get an education in the street. They get an education on how to sell drugs, how to shoot guns, and, so these are these are the realities we face with in the ghetto, in the cities. And these are the visuals that I'm giving you. I'm giving you the realities, the realness of what's going on in my city, in Brooklyn, what's really going on. That's what I'm giving you.
Well, one of my fellow panelists, Pico Tafel, has done a lot of research. He always does. Always makes me feel a little bit undereducated. But Pifo, why don't you welcome our guest and share a little bit of what you've looked into?
Hello, William, and it's great to have you on the panel today as our special guest for the 1-year anniversary of the Global Sunday.
Thank you for having me.
What you're speaking of is something that our producer also has in the core of his intention is to speak to the people and to tell them things and make them raise attention to what is really important. And I think everybody on this panel is doing that. And, you know, Mr. Laden, you've been going for educating knowledge. And no matter how the fashion of doing it became, you were teaching the knowledge of how to do things and doing it and doing the work. So William, looking at your work, you speak of spirituality, you shoot the footage in the streets, you have put out an impressive amount of films in the last year, so we can actually see the streets of your neighborhood. And you went outside and you did something, and someone made me aware of that. When I was down, what helped me to survive was the arts, and I wasn't aware of it myself. It is some intuitively I did it, and it is really something that is beyond any financial attribution if it's possible to create. So it's a big pleasure to have you here, and there's so many questions I have that I will need to pass on, you know.
Ask away.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Miss Classic, would you please welcome our guest? And, you know, you have a very special connection with him because you're both exactly in the same part of the arts industry. With that is the music, okay?
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Mr. William Bostick. It's a pleasure for us to have you here. And I would love to appreciate the fact that you even shared your music, your brain, your universal language with O2.
Yeah.
So I send a shout out to you.
May God rest, you know, may he rest in peace. Yeah, he was a good brother. He was, you know, a genuine soul.
Yes. So I heard you were a part of a great team here in South Africa of the Saints PMF, Lindani and Opa and Ntokozo and Mlu, including Umelusi, who was known as O2 in the music industry. So may his soul rest in peace. I just want to welcome you warmly in this house, and I want you to feel at home. Anytime you need to talk, you are doing projects, you must know that you have a sister in South Africa. You have Saints PMF. We got you, and you have Lungani, that other side, and Mr. Laden and people and David. So I want to give you a warm welcome in the house of the Global Sundays.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to hear more about you when we come back from the news. Let's just throw it back to Mr. Laden, to the news.
Thank you, Miss Classic. This is Global Sunday News. It's May 30th, 2021, and I'm Kenneth Ludden, bringing you the news today. Our first segment is about COVID. Normally, COVID is the second segment, but this time there are other things going on in the world that we're going to address later. The COVID pandemic is advancing, and it is doing all kinds of different things at this moment. It was just announced today that 50% of all adult Americans have now had their full vaccination. And at the same time, in India, they have 3 and 4 people in a bed in their intensive care unit. It's all over the map, up and down, poor countries, rich countries. Look at this news clip from Adaderana, Studio 24 in Sri Lanka, and then we'll be back at the other end of the news. Thank you.
Now on the updates of the COVID pandemic. According to the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, the EU is apparently on track to have enough doses delivered to vaccinate 70% of the adult populations by the end of July. Let's cross over to Al Jazeera World News Special Correspondent Prashani Rodrigo from Helsinki in Finland for more. Prashani?
Yes, Shanali. The European Union expects to have received more than 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of September from 4 drug makers. The document prepared by the European Commission shows the EU is confident of having enough vaccine to immunize its entire eligible population by that date, well beyond the initial goal of inoculating 70% of the adult population by the end of the summer. Ursula von der Leyen said the EU expects to get more than 400 million doses in the second quarter. By the end of the year, the EU forecasts it will receive another 452 million doses for a total of 1.5 billion. The former German defense minister said the infrastructure for a digital vaccination certificate intended to make traveling in the European Union easier would be ready at EU level from June 1st. The 27 national leaders also discussed how to reach the EU's new target to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% by 2030 from 1990 levels. Agreed last month, the goal is more ambitious than the previous plan for a 40% cut. The proposal will form part of a broader package of climate policies the Commission will publish in July. Back to you, Shanali.
Thank you. That was Al Jazeera World News Special Correspondent Prashani Rodrigo reporting from Helsinki in Finland. French media and social networks were abuzz with speculation about a mysterious offer to influencers and YouTube personalities asking them to publicly degenerate the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine in return for money.
It's a common marketing practice. Businesses tap into the power of social media influencers to try and promote their products in partnership deals. But when it involves a smear campaign against a particular product, it takes on a different meaning. Leo Grasset, who runs a popular YouTube channel, is among a number of social media influencers who recently got a mysterious email. It's strange, I've received a partnership proposal which consists of denigrating a Pfizer vaccine in a video. Grasset said he turned down the €2,000 deal, which instructed him to say, the death rate among the vaccinated by Pfizer is almost 3 times higher than among the vaccinated by AstraZeneca, and asked him not to reveal he was airing an ad or a sponsored video. The YouTuber said he tracked the marketing agency claiming to work for an anonymous client to a laser treatment centre in London. It's a classic method used by fake news spreaders, according to one specialist. There are some signs that suggest people with links to Russia could be behind the mysterious campaign. An investigation has been launched. France's Health Minister Olivier Véran has called the move dangerous and irresponsible.
Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine was found to be effective in adolescents aged 12 to 17 and showed no new major safety problems in trial, potentially setting the stage for a second vaccine for school-aged children to be authorized in July.
Vaccine makers are racing to get approval for their COVID-19 shots in younger and younger people. And on Tuesday, Moderna announced it would be the second firm to seek clearance to use their vaccine in school-aged children in the U.S. A clinical trial showed Moderna's shot was effective in adolescents aged 12 to 17, with no new or major safety problems. The Moderna vaccine, already authorized for adults aged 18 and up, will now go to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which could grant emergency use authorization as soon as July. It took U.S. regulators about a month to review and approve the Pfizer-BioNTech shot for ages 12 to 15. Moderna's trial studied 3,732 adolescents aged 12 to 17. 2/3 got the vaccine and 1/3 got a placebo. 2 weeks after the second dose, researchers found no cases of COVID-19 in the vaccine group and 4 cases in the placebo group. Children rarely develop COVID-19 symptoms, but they remain at risk of falling seriously ill and can still transmit the virus. Widely vaccinating kids aged 12 and up could allow U.S. schools and summer camps to relax masking and social distancing measures suggested by the CDC. Moderna is currently testing its vaccine in children as young as 6 months of age.
Whatever your situation, try to find a way to get vaccinated. Many places around the world have a zero waste policy so that they know how many shots are in a vial and how many vials will be in a day. You can sign up, and then at the end of that day, if they have extra shots, they will call you. You go in, you can get your shot ahead of your age group. Get your vaccination. And now we're going to return to our guest this week, Mr. William Bostick. And we're going to go to a video we've already talked about already on this show. It's called Mathematic. Here we go.
You are watching Global They fed us some harsh lessons about our adolescents, how they mastered their chemistry sessions to rise from recession. They refused to fail, seen the scale with bigger options, got the block to get it popping. Now the feds are not gonna stop it. Four corners, they done locked the Johnny Cochran in their pocket. Weed smelling like some chocolate dope dealer like Charles Bronson. Shooters clicked up, bunch of sick pups that just don't give a fuck. They only out for bigger bucks. Riding dirty in their truck, they all ready to fucking bucket any motherfucking duck that's really trying to press they luck. I make you famous, son, just by the draw of the gun. You ever dance with the pale moon under the hot sun? I do the mathematics, son, call me the king of calculus. Psychopathic, acrobatic, finally out the attic. Still packing the automatic, Nicks fitted and the ditty bop. Attitude, kind of rude, I drink your milk and eat your food. Cowabunga, do you feeling all the turbulence? The piff got me high as a plane, funeral services. The chemical imbalance got me leaning towards the left side, pushing off the wall, equilibrium, my back ride. You know I don't backslide, you demand, I supply. Bread the chef, a whole pie in the kitchen with a pot hot off the stove top, right beside the frying pan, chicken in the guillotine. How you think I feed my fam? This is all about cream, cash rules everything, and all the evil that surrounds me, because I'm the king with broken angel wings. So do the mathematics. So do the mathematics. Welcome to New York, better known as the Rotten Apple. Come take this walk with me and get a taste of my reality. Painted vividly, a vision of clarity, which has become a rarity. The rappers with popularity, now they saying the culture dead under siege by a pyramid. FEMA, I ain't hearing it, and damn sure ain't fearing it. Birth in the last millennium, writer of mountain requiem, battled amongst the best of them. Delhi with a pad and pen. I was one of Jesus' sins, but I was always taught to win. Verbal fly like the wind, combination heroin. I just found fear from chaos, a beautiful combination with a mind so complex. It's like I'm stuck in the matrix, surrounded by bigger dreams and even bigger goals. And I ain't gonna stop till a nigga got 30 million sold. I ain't getting pigeonholed, I'm covering all angles. Distribution, copyright, publishing, ain't no fucking me. I'm a grown man, I don't sit to pee. I'm a gangster motherfucker, I run these streets. I always handle beef like it's a barbecue. And if I can't get it, shoot my shooters, I train to shoot while I'm handling the booth and living the glamour life and taking care of business every day like it's my last night, my last will and right. Nah, I'm bred to fight, I really live this life, that's why it's nothing to write. Mathematics.
The Global Sunday, and that was mathematics. So William, I have a question. The world just suffered a major loss, the world of hip hop and rap, by the loss of O2, and earlier there was also the loss of DMX. How does losing a rapper impact the rap industry?
It's always a huge impact, and you know, it's always huge when we lose someone. You know, even if you have a record, that to me it's like this, even if you have a record on the underground and you're not as, you know, popular as per se 50 Cent or somebody of that stature, it's still a huge loss. You're a talent. You contributed. You had some sort of contribution to the culture of hip hop. So it's a loss. Any little piece to this puzzle is a loss. You know, it's like every rap artist to me is like a vein in the body that allows this body of hip hop to function. If one vein goes, you know, then the body doesn't function correctly. You know, so we constantly losing veins. The bodies gets weak, and then we get the newer guys to come in and, you know, they rejuvenate the body again. You know, but it's always a huge loss. It always hurts when we lose someone. You know, especially someone like O2 who was just such a talent, such a just a genuine soul. He was just a good dude, all around the board, you know.
We know that you had worked with him directly. Um, Take us there. Take us to that kind of zone where artists work together. You know, when you're just riding on that ocean of the talent.
I worked with them via internet. We did a lot of video, you know, conferencing and a lot of video calls in the process of working on the project. Unfortunately, I never got to meet O2 physically. We never got to sit in the same recording studio. But working with him and working with Saints PMF when I produced the 3 records for them, that was special for me to see, you know, these young guys, you know, who are a lot more younger than me, their drive, their passion, just their all out willingness to, you know, just they wanted to make dope records. They just wanted to make dope music. And I admired that. I really, you know, sat back and was like, damn, I really got to work with these dudes. So I sat back, you know, I worked with them. The process of working with them was even more amazing because even though we did it via internet, it was, you know, the back and forth, the creative, you know, thought back and forth between me and them. They would send me something and yo, maybe you should do this. And, you know, I would send them the idea back. They would go back into the studio and redo the idea the way I, you know, gave them this little, you know, advice and all that. So it was fun doing it like that, man. And then the end product was amazing. The end product was just stupendous for me. You know, it was my first time working with, you know, someone internationally that I had never even met physically. It was the first time I had done work over the just internet, period. You know, we're used to working in the studio with an artist, you know, at least when I was coming up the way I came up, that's how we did it, you know. Now it's a lot more, you know, the whole internet friendly thing with sending emails back and forth and, you know, it's cool. Back when I did the project with Saints PMF, my bad, Saints PMF, it was kind of fresh and new to me, you know, the whole doing stuff back and forth on the internet. So it was real special for me, you know, especially dealing with genuine guys like they, you know, O2, Lindani, these guys, they just genuine dudes, man.
Well, you mentioned the other guys, and I was in touch with Lindani, who updated me because I'm not within, you know, the culture. Of course, I listen to the records, and you know, I've been working with poets, and that's what I consider you. You know, you're poets of the spoken word, and what you just mentioned, everything. Lindani also proved that he was, you know, speaking directly as what you would say a brother, you know, open and say, let's connect, let's see. And I felt so touched, and it's so important, you know.
Yeah.
There's
And even after working on the project with them, you know, I stayed in touch with them, all of them. You know, we speak all the time. Me and Lindani, I think we speak every day. You know what I mean? We text each other every day on WhatsApp. You know, they became my brothers. You know, we checked on each other all the time. You know, me and Lindani check on each other all the time. So yeah, man, it was real special working with them. You know, and just having the opportunity to work with O2 is even more special because so talented, man. It was sad when I heard the news, you know. Just so talented, man. You know, his improvisation, the way he rapped off of his head was incredible. Like, incredible.
Yeah. You know, at home, I used to see them getting excited of collaborating with this overseas artist, and the joy they will have when they had an artist that's collaborating with them, when they appreciated by artists from overseas more than here at home, which pains me.
It's same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people ask me, about, my fan base. I don't have much of a fan base per se in the United States. I don't focus on U.S. sales or, a U.S. fan base. People overseas appreciate my music a lot more. They appreciate the genuine, sense of hip hop that I'm bringing to the table. So it excited me to see that they were fans of my music, because I was fans of them. I listened to their stuff and I'm getting excited, like, wow, these dudes put something new out. Every time I seen, they were putting something new out, I'm excited. And it tripped me out to see how they were so excited to hear my music or to just be so supportive of my stuff, Same with my other friends across the globe, I talk to my fans, when they reach out to me via Instagram, Facebook, I actually speak to my fans. I'll video chat with a fan and sit down and talk to them because I appreciate the fact that they tune into what I'm doing. I'm just trying to bring a message to the people globally that the way we grow up is not the way we end up.
Yes.
We grow up one way, we're raised one way, but we as we become adults, we become intelligent enough to know, all right, look, we came from that. We ain't gotta continue that. Now, how do we continue to elevate and go forward? This is what I'm trying to bring in my music as well. Like giving you the message of, okay, we did this. Now, how do we move forward from it?
Yes.
And to me, I feel like people overseas get it a lot more, people in the US.
Actually, there are no limitations, Bostick. It's your limitation is only your imagination. Yeah. So I take that so much, and I'm glad that you made your life together with O2 as masterpiece. As they say, if you imagine no limitations on what you can be, have, or do. That's what we did together. So I just want to send a shout out to you and a big respect for you reaching out to them in the location Wamash is now in Devon, for just respecting and loving them unconditionally. Yeah, I just send a shout out.
Thank you. Those are my brothers.
Yeah. And I wanted to check what makes a good song, Williams. What makes a good song in your music? Because I can see the one that says mathematics. I know music is a universal language, and math is one of the music language that we have, despite the other language, the other subjects that we have in school. So what is it that makes a good song to you, brother?
To me, when I listen and I know it's good music, is because it gives me a feeling. It gives me a feeling of realness. I could relate to it. When people, in their music, and not to talk bad at anyone, when they talking about popping bottles of champagne and spending $100 million on a home and all that, I'm not living that life, so that doesn't entice me. When they're talking about people dying and people getting robbed and the stores getting burned down on the corners, being looted, I could relate to that because I'm going through that. I'm living that every day. I'm living every day where I still got to go outside my front door and still look over my shoulder. Not because of a problem or a beef, it's just because of the violence that goes on in the street. gun violence in my city since the pandemic has started has gone up almost 70%. We have maybe 20 shootings throughout the city a day. Now we got over 200 shootings. You know, we're almost at equal numbers to Chicago, and Chicago is the murder capital of the United States. They defunded the police department. You know, yeah, I don't support the police. You know, as you know, rap, we never really support police. It's always FTP. But they defunded. So now you got young kids who are unguided, who have nothing to do. They have no guidance, or the elders, you know, and I blame my peer group. Or the elders in my peer group didn't educate these young kids on what to do with their time. They taught them the wrong things. They go out there, sell drugs, shoot guns, and do everything in the negative. So, yeah, I'm just trying to bring, you know, just trying to educate the kids and tell them, yo, look, man, we did this. This is what we do. But how do we grow? How do we move forward? And what makes it song is, to me, the reality, the lyricism. This is rap and hip hop. You know, yeah, there's fun, playful rap, but for me, I look for more the lyricism. How well did you paint that picture for me? How witty were the lines that you came up with, the punchlines, the metaphors? How poetic can you get? You know, how outside of the box can you think to make me go back to that record and say, all right, cool. This line here had 2 or 3 meanings. It was an entendre, because that's how brilliant the writing was. You can have somebody sit here and say sat back cat hat in a rap and go 10 times platinum. That's fine and well. That's cool. That doesn't entice me. When you have lyrics that are Eminem caliber, you know, where they really make you think. Nas, who's probably the most intelligent rapper to ever, you know, rap. His rhymes make you think. They make you go back and say, did he really say that? Did that really mean this? Was this actually the breakdown for what he said? That to me makes the record. The happy-go-lucky, catchy choruses, that's cool. I don't knock y'all. You're making your money. Is that what I look for? Nah, that's not what I have in my playlist every day. I'm listening to guys that are probably not on, you know, the average person's radar. Just throw out a few names. I'm, you know, in my playlist, there's guys like Lion Sing the Divine. Shout out to Lion Sing. There's guys like Mugshot Baby, aka La Belle Band. I'm listening to, you know, to guys like Mateo Laws, you know, guys that, you know, that are not on, you know, the average person's radar, but these guys are painting such vivid lyrical pictures that I could appreciate the music, you know. Yeah, I'm not listening to the Lil Waynes and the Drakes.
You know, I have been in education, classical fine art for over 50 years now. You're smart. You are smart. Boy, do I wish you were 10 years old or 8 years old and in my academy. You know, and hopefully Monday we'll be able to get you to come and talk to the kids in the academy who are young artists.
I would love that. I would love that.
But you talk about all those names, all those inspirations, and your name was that inspiration for O2 and his crew. You know, you have come up with something new. You have come up with something now and something future. You've described it as true, authentic, grimy, street New York rap music. Tell us about that. What makes that stand out? I know what it makes stand out for me, but for you, what drives you and what makes that the way you're going? Because you have added something new to this world.
I can't take full credit for you know, the sound. The sound is just New York. What the sound is just everything that embodies New York. What drives me to make that kind of music is the lifestyle I grew up living. I was born on the Lower East Side, raised between, you know, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. Um, Seen a lot of murders growing up as a kid, seeing my best friend when I was 15 get murdered, you know, over pride and just nonsense, you know. Grew up selling a lot of drugs, which, you know, not ashamed of, but am ashamed of, because, you know, as you grow, you sit and say, damn, I shouldn't have done those things. But, you know, you can't change the past. You can't rewrite the past. You just continue to move forward for your future. And like what drives me to make that kind of music, like I said, it's just the life I grew up living, the life that I continue to see, you know, some of my peers and some of the kids underneath me living. It's reality rap. It's exactly what we go through every day, you know, in my city, in all the urban cities across the globe, in every country and every continent, you know, because gangs are just not here in New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago. Gangs are everywhere. Gangs are in South Africa, gangs are in Germany, gangs are in France and London. You know, we grew up seeing that, you know, every day. We still grow up, kids still growing up today seeing it. We go through it every day, you know, we go through the gunfire. So when it came for me to make music, I wanted to reflect what was going on really around me, you know, give the people that real vivid picture of what was going on, you know, kind of like, excuse my language, but we call that, like I said, part of my language, but we call it the nigga news. It's basically, you know, the hood news. What I'm saying in my raps, you know, I'm from New York, but people in LA could relate to it because they're going through the same thing. People in Atlanta could relate to it. They're going through the same thing. People in Chicago could relate to it. So we kind of just pass it along the news, you know, of what's going on in my neighborhood. And the same thing with guys like Kendrick Lamar, God rest Nipsey Hussle. Those guys from the West Coast, they were feeding us back the news that was going on in their hood. You know, rap to me, reality rap is the news. We are just, we're like news anchors, you know. We're giving you everything that goes on a daily basis in our neighborhood, you know, from the violence to the drugs, the police corruption, you know, because let's get, you know, that's a whole different, you know, conversation we can have is, you know, the police corruption, which also leads us to think the way we think about the police, you know. We don't trust the police, so that reflects in the music. And sometimes people say, oh, it tends to seem a little violent and a little, you know, angry towards the police department. Yeah, we have every right to be angry towards the police department. We've, you know, gone through so many, you know, trifling things with them, you know, and we continue to go through things, you know, God rest George Floyd, you know, who we lost, you know, due to some craziness, but all that reflects in the music, you know what I mean? It's just the reality of what goes on in the world. And I'm gonna speak for me, I bring it to the forefront. Everything I see, I hear, I go through in my personal life, I bring to the forefront. There's no sugarcoating in my music. I'm bringing it to you real, raw, and uncut.
Well, if your work has that in it, I suggest, that's what I know from my work, working in film and video, the moving image and dance and choreography. It takes a lot of work in it, working your thoughts until it gets what we can hear, to find that voice and find that materiality and to find that message.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions that will also be coming up. So if we go on to the news now, we can catch up on it. And I'm looking forward to that. So let's move on to the news, Mr. Ludden.
Thank you, Pipo. You know, you talk about gangs, talk about gang leaders. There's a meeting coming up between Biden and Putin. We're talking about two gangs, the Israelis and the Palestine, now in a ceasefire. We've got the democracies of the world and the Taliban. And then we've got WhatsApp versus India. Everything is these gangs clashing. You know, you talk about being the modern day troubadours carrying the news. Well, here's world news now. Take a look at this clip again from Adiderna in Colombo, Sri Lanka, their Studio 24. And we will, after the end of the news, we will look at that news, and then we're going to listen to some more of your news here, Mr. Bostick. Thank you. Here we go. Watch this.
Welcome back. High tensions are likely next month as US President Joe Biden has announced that he will meet the Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time. The White House and the Kremlin confirmed the June 16th summit between the two leaders despite contentions, rivalries and past acrimony.
Joe Biden, for the first time in his presidency, will meet face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Geneva next month. The Kremlin and the White House on Tuesday both confirmed the summit's date, June 16th, and the sit-down comes amid sharp disputes over election interference, cyber attacks, human rights, and Ukraine. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
This is how diplomacy works. We don't meet with people only when we agree. It's actually important to meet with leaders when we have a range of disagreements, as we do with Russian leaders.
The icy relations between the two leaders were on full display in March when Biden told he thought Putin was, quote, a killer.
Does President Biden regret calling Vladimir Putin a killer?
No, the president gave a direct answer to a direct question.
The Russian had a ready retort.
And you know, I remember in my childhood, when we argued in the courtyard, we used to say, it takes one to know one.
Diplomats have since sought ways for the two rivals to work together. Last week, Secretary of State Antony Blinken met Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Iceland.
It's our view that if the leaders of Russia and the United States can work together cooperatively, our people, the world, can be a safer and more secure place, and that's what we see. But Sergei, welcome. It's good to see you.
It won't be Biden's first handshake with Putin. The two met in 2011 when Biden was vice president and Putin then prime minister. And looking back at the last decade, the sentiment hasn't much changed.
It's in our self-interest, and I hope in the self-interest of Russia, to have our relationships closer.
The Kremlin said in a statement that the two leaders would discuss bilateral ties, problems related to strategic nuclear stability, and cooperation in the fight against COVID-19.
Washington's top diplomat held talks with Israel's prime minister during the first leg of his 4-day trip to the Middle East, following the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza, and there Antony Blinken highlighted the need for a two-state solution.
I informed President Abbas and earlier Prime Minister Netanyahu that the United States will notify Congress of our intention to provide $75 million in additional development and economic assistance for the Palestinians in 2021.
Speaking alongside Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank city of Ramallah on Tuesday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken pledged that Washington would provide new aid to help rebuild Gaza as part of efforts to bolster a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel.
I say this as a father. No child, whether Israeli, Palestinian, or American, is a statistic. We know the human consequences when violence takes the upper hand, and we are determined that not be the case.
Blinken reiterated that Washington intended to ensure that Hamas, which it regards as a terrorist organization, did not benefit from the humanitarian aid, a potentially difficult task. Blinken began his visit to the region in Jerusalem, where he held talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who warned Hamas against any resumption of hostilities.
If Hamas breaks the calm and attacks Israel, our response will be very powerful. And we have discussed ways of how to work together to prevent Hamas rearmament with the weapons and means of aggression.
hoping to reverse a move taken by former President Donald Trump that angered Palestinians. Blinken said the United States would advance the process of reopening its Jerusalem consulate that had served as its diplomatic channel to the Palestinians. Blinken's visit to the region comes after a Cairo-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hamas last Friday after days of deadly violence that recalled their last major conflict in 2014. Hundreds of Israeli airstrikes killed at least 254 people in Gaza and injured over 1,900, Palestinian medics said. The Israeli military put Israel's death toll at 13. During his tour, Blinken will next head to Cairo and Jordan.
Australia abruptly announced it will shutter its embassy in Afghanistan this week, expressing fears over the increasingly uncertain security environment in Kabul as foreign troops withdraw. The Taliban, who have ramped up violence across the country in recent weeks, reacted by saying they would provide a safe environment to diplomats and humanitarian organizations.
As the final withdrawal date for U.S. troops in Afghanistan edges closer, an uptake in violence across the country has driven the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison to take action. In a statement, the head of state announced that the Australian embassy in Afghanistan would close on Friday.
The departure of the international forces, and hence Australian forces, from Afghanistan over the next few months brings with it an increasingly uncertain security environment, where the government has been advised that security arrangements could not be provided to support our ongoing diplomatic presence.
The sudden closure is said to be an interim measure. In response to the announcement, both Afghanistan's foreign ministry and the Taliban have pledged to keep diplomats and humanitarian organizations safe. But recent clashes between Afghan forces and Taliban fighters has done little to reassure officials. The U.S. military is now in the final stages of its withdrawal ahead of the September 11th deadline. Hundreds of Afghans are believed to have been killed since U.S. forces began their departure. The violence has raised fears that a security vacuum in the country could lead to a Taliban comeback, but U.S. authorities say they will stay committed to the region.
Just because we are removing our troops and ending our military mission in Afghanistan doesn't mean that we're walking away from the region. Nothing could be further from the truth.
There is abundance of news about coronavirus. For the complete video of our second segment, please tune in to our YouTube page or to Diverse Television on the internet. And now we're going to bring you more of the music of Mr. William Bostick. And now we're going to watch Shotgun from Hell.
You are watching Global Sundays. I can still hit it from long range. Aim on point, fucker shooting like Danny Ainge. Crossover mean though, the same way I whip the coke. Risk ain't ridiculous, the fiends always back for more. And I'm never taking shorts, that's not how I was taught. It's about that double up for the price that coke was bought. Remember, watch the Lord, they out here harassing us, Lord. They knocking down every door, from the first to the fourth. Coke down the commode, kick over the battery. Let the acid wash the work, it's no longer a felony. Tell a pigs to eat a dick, I'm putting you on to some shit. I hope you got a pen and a pad and you taking notes and shit. This is game that I'm giving out on how to survive during hard times and win during the drought. Fuck the fame and the clout, focus on stacking your paper. This is just a little reminder from your friendly neighbor.
Implicit memory, gondola hit the cerebellum. A slight pick me up to transfer my general knowledge. These bitches cold-text, clogging up the game, and I'll be busting through that neocortex. We is not the same. Elusive Morpheus crossed over my dreams. In all reality, my apathy is busting at the seams. These bitches indexed, forgotten, tamped below. These haters staying up late to watch my every episode. Syndicated shit, have your ass sedated, and I'm coming for every little thing I've ever indicated. Vindicated, I'm feeling some type of way, dilated. My pupils always. Once a kid with hoop dreams, brick by brick, I discovered my creed. And your hunger will show your true colors off to me. Hex only square. squares that come to kill, steal, and destroy. I don't fuck with toys, cause I ain't shopping, Zion, my boy.
Welcome, everybody. This is the one and only Queen of Global Sundays. I hope everyone is doing great. Especially, I want to send a shout out to Zulu Pavaro's Du Mapumulo Majola in South Africa in Durban. Du Majola, the Zulu Pavaro's, our lovely tenor in South Africa. I heard that he released the second album, which is very hot, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy it. And I want to welcome back all the hosts and the producer. Big up there, guys. And also our handsome special guest, Mr. William Bostick, in the house. Boo, 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 boo. So today's motivation was going to just inspire you. I'll just run just a few words for you. As in South Africa, we're celebrating the last day of the Africa Month. I want to tell you, especially the women in South Africa that are feeling a little bit less self-esteem. I want to tell you, Africa women, you are Black woman, beautiful, magic, intelligent, resilient, and I love you. Be innovated and know that you are powerful, influential, and be unapologetic to everyone, you know? And I want to say the last lines that there are no limits to what you can accomplish except the limit your place on what your own thinking. So stop limiting yourself when you are thinking. The limitations are just only the imaginations. So just think wise and think wild, like how O2 did with Mr. William Bostick in New York, and the other artists that allowed him to be inspired, and they inspired each other, as we are now a global family. So be inspired and make your life a masterpiece. Boo, 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 boo. Never give up. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Miss Classic. Well, I want to pass on to William Bostick, who already said something earlier about where we come from and where we're going, because we are what we are thinking, basically. Could you give a comment on that, William?
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, what Miss Classic referred to, that it's about the thinking and the thinking about ourselves and how that can change us and where that can get us.
Yeah, just got to think of yourself in a more positive light, you know. Just got to try to wake up every day and think to yourself, you know, yesterday may not have been that great, but today's going to be better. Because tomorrow we got to make it even, you know, more special. Every day you just got to wake up and believe in yourself, you know. Some days, you know, even myself, some days I struggle. You know, I wake up and I don't want to do this no more. You know, there's so many things going on around us in the world that you just wake up some days disgusted. But you got to, you know, push through that, fight through that. Um, what helps me push through that, to fight through that, one is my kids, my wife, my family, and some of the young guys around me. They push me and motivate me. They give me a reason to laugh and smile sometimes because I see my young self in them, and I can teach them and tell them which way not to go and things, not to do. You know, so that's kind of a motivation for me too, to wake up every day and just thank God that I'm here because I get to, guide another young soul, another young individual the right way. You know, because I didn't have much guidance, and all the guidance I did have as a kid, majority of it was negative. So
Yes, you have taken us on this journey through your music, through your art. Um, what's exactly at the heart of that, and what drives you to go to that place? Did you bring reality to people who are just addicted to avoiding reality?
real life, my reality itself. My life is, coming up as a kid, did 14 years in prison. For mistakes that I made as a kid, bad decisions I made. So that's what drives me, to go back to, wanting to teach these kids and not, have them running around in the streets doing all these negative things. Is because of my experiences myself, what I went through, 14 years in prison alone made me say, yo, you know what? Something got to change, and something got to change within the youth. And in order for it to change within the youth, it got to change within the elders. If there's nobody of the elder, generation teaching the younger kids what to do and what not to do, they're gonna go to what is the first thing, which is easy for them to do, which is the negative. Negative is always easier than positive. We all know, it's easier to go the negative route and to do all the negative things than it is to go the positive route. So for me, that's what drives me every day. That's what drives me in my music, to give the people the real so they know what, what the realities are, what they face with, and what can actually be the outcome. I tell people all the time, 14 winters, 13 summers took a lot from me. I don't want to see nobody else go through that. So whatever I could do to try to teach somebody, whether it's through my rhymes, whether it's through just my everyday living, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to, get a young kid to not go down the same path. I went down. I have to be able to see the same realities I seen. I don't want my kids seeing those realities. My sons, I got 2 young boys. My oldest son is 8. My youngest son is 5. I don't want to growing up the way I grew up. So, the realities of my music is that it's a reflection of how I came up, and it's, education. To me, it's like a manual, rule book for these kids on what to do and what not to do, because I do tell them the harsh realities of what the outcome is going to be. You commit these crimes and you do these digital things in the street, and these are the things that are going to come out. These are the negative things that are going to come out.
So, William, I wish I could have a question coming up. However, you answered it, and I listened to you carefully, and I realize how much you are talking from your experience. It's rather than having a concept, you are teaching from having gone through it. And there's a very strong message in there to our viewers or listeners. Could you tell how you, and you see, I need to take a moment to rephrase, because of course there's a lot of preparations in these shows, and then like in creativity, when it finds a way, it's like a river, and the river takes its way when it's not put into a restraint. So I want to choose them carefully because it's such a pleasure that we can share some time together. How would you tell to our listeners, how could you pass on to the next generation that knowledge? Is there a way that you discovered a way to do it, what to tell them, or how to do it?
Realness. Realness supersedes everything. I tell my kids this, I tell my the young kids around me, the young, some of the young gang members around me. I tell them all the time, realness, man. Just be real with them. Don't sugarcoat nothing. I was given a lot of stuff sugar-coated when I was a kid, and then when I found out the harsh reality of it, the real of it, the realness of it, I was shocked. Just be real out from day one, out the gate, just realness. I don't know how to be anything else but real. So real is the word. That's the way I can describe it in one word. Be real, never be fraudulent. It's cool. So people have imaginations. They got, these amazing imaginations, and I don't take it away from them. Cool. Write a comic book if that's what you want to do. For me, in rap music, is you got that much of an imagination, you should be writing a comic book. You should be writing rap. This is reality music. Reality. It's real. So that's the best word I could choose, is real.
Mm-hmm. It's not with me. I have question number.
Thank you very much. Being real is what it's all about. That's in my art form as well. When you're talking about passing on to the youth, and that's going to bring us to the nonprofit organization that we are featuring today. We've seen a little bit of this in the past. It's a Francois Xavier Bagno Center for Health and Human Rights, but they have programs all over the world. And I want you to look at this video, and then afterwards I'm going to tell you a little bit of what they are doing to pass on that real message to the youth around the world. Watch this video. It's a very short
Francois Xavier Bagno loved rescuing people. In adulthood, he rescued people as a helicopter pilot in the Alps. In 1986, he died in a tragic accident. His mother, Albina Dubras-Rouvray, wanted to continue her son's passion. She did so in two ways. The first was to support those things that Francois cared most about: the alpine valleys in which he flew his missions, space, air flight, his university. These are supported by the FXB Foundation. The second was to create an NGO, FXB International, which would help rescue the poorest people on the planet, those suffering from the most extreme poverty, such as children orphaned as a result of AIDS. This is achieved through the FXB Village Programme, a pioneering approach to eradicating poverty. This programme was radical. It went against the fashion of the time. It was not just one solution, but several, working as one. FXB invested in the basic needs of human life: health, housing, education, and nutrition. It then added the fifth element: business. A business that, within 3 years, makes it possible for each FXB village to pay for itself and become self-sufficient, so breaking the cycle of poverty. To raise funds for these two strands of activity, Albina sold 3/4 of what she owned. She put everything into the foundation and the NGO, including the FXB Village programme. That was 25 years ago. The work continues, it inspires, and it works.
with all of our videos, they can be found in their complete form on our global diverse television website and also on our YouTube channel. The thing that FXB is doing is what all of us are doing. It is reaching out to the youth, empowering the youth, giving them positive messages. We're going to go now to another video by William Bostick, Scribes from Legba. This is truly an amazing and impactful video. Go on this journey with him, this real journey.
You are watching Global Sundays.
Yo soy Papa Legba. Metra primero. Ya tú sabes. I strive pain, but I ain't the type to brag about it. I dig deep and jot lines and let you blog about it. My lines are quotables, further you being testaments, biblical scriptures written by God, painting vivid pictures. Son of Yemaya, reflection in Elegua with the power of Chango. So all praise to my Santos. It's them spiritual forces helping me move these mountains. Disciples and prophets leading me right to the fountain. You hear that chant, now the ground gon' shake. That's the power of a real nigga possessed by a saint. A bite from the strange fruit. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So it's mandatory that I'm always strapped with a weapon. Right in my midsection, extra clip for protection. Trained since an adolescent to prep for the unexpected. And keep a watch with your third eye. It be your left hand that eventually turn right. Then it's good night. Scribe pain that the world gon' feel. Bars written from real life, so you know they drill. You see me, I'm unorthodox. I'm right from off the block. I'm right from where them killers bop and scream fuck the cops. We still some niggas with some attitudes, just wise and more intelligent, not focus on that petty shit. We tryna quadruple the flip, bag of snare samples and kicks, with a sprinkle of that raw shit. Marvelous, while puffing my eyeballs over this beat that's ominous. With lyrics so insightful they could be studied in colleges. With a will to demolish it, abolish all the garbageness. They look past the Puerto Rican and acknowledge the God of him. It's a part of my arrogance, part of the walk, part of the talk. I move like an official nigga that embodies all New York. I'm in my own lane, doing my own thing. Still slinging that cocaine through wordplay that's propane. Willie my damn name. Now y'all want hate, huh? Okay. I get it. You wake up in the morning, I'm the first nigga.
Okay, thank you very much. And now I have a question for you, William. That is an amazing video, and I would like to talk to you about that for about 4 or 5 hours. But my question is, every art form of the generation has the generation before and the generation that comes after them. Are you involved in passing on the knowledge, and how do you remember having received such knowledge? Was there someone that taught you the things, and how did they teach it to you that inspires you to teach it to the next generation?
I definitely do pass on all my knowledge to the younger kids, to the younger guys, and the younger girls that I'm around, or that I come across. Not much knowledge was given to me as a kid when it came to this music industry, or when it came to the business of music, period. I had to kind of learn going through it, the elders around me who were involved in music didn't really have, per se, the knowledge or the education. They were kind of getting screwed over themselves. So they were learning trial and error, you know, by trial and error, going through it, and then telling us later on after they done went through it, yo, don't do that. But by then we had already known not to do it. So a lot of it, you know, was just going through it myself. And then having one individual tell me, I had an old jazz musician tell me one day, you need to learn about owning your masters. And I didn't know nothing about that. I just wanted to make music, put music out. I didn't care nothing about owning no masters. I ain't know nothing about copyrights, nothing. I just knew how to write music, record it, and whatever. If the neighborhood listened to it, I was good and fine with that. And then he educated me on owning my masters and told me to study Ray Charles. And I studied Ray Charles's career. Study guys like Ray Charles, study guys like, you know, Duke Ellington, on how they didn't own their masters for years. They received peanuts and pennies for their work, you know, for years, until they stepped up and gained the knowledge to step up and tell, you know, the individuals, the big recording companies, hey, look, you're not gonna own me no more. So it later on in life, you know, I was kind of like self-taught, you know, but yeah, I do pass on the knowledge. I feel like it shouldn't be, you know, some people say, you got to hold on to the knowledge. The knowledge should be, you know, sold to people. No, the game is to be told, not to be sold. The knowledge I have, why I hold it, you know, let the young kids, you know, get that and be able to grow and take this culture even further than what we've taken it. You know, if we hold on to the knowledge, that restricts them from taking the culture even further, you know, and being able to tell the big record executives, well, no, you're not going to give me 100,000, but you're kindly going to give me 100 million, you know, because they know their value and they know their worth. So yeah, I don't hold out on any knowledge. Whatever I learn, I'm more than happy to give it away to the kids. You know?
Wow. This is nice. And then, Mr. Williams, in this generations, which pattern do you wish the youngsters can cut from you? Or more or less, if you can just give me 2 words, how would you wish them to remember you when you're gone? Because we are not here permanent. We are born and there's death as well, as you saw with the O2. So how would you wish to be remembered by these young stars as you are a role model to them?
I guess that I always just, you know, gave them the real, you know, gave them all the knowledge I have. Was always the same person, you know, never changed up. Still the same person. Now, same person, you know. I'm not your friend one day and I'm not your friend, you know, the next day. If I'm your friend until you prove me otherwise, you know. So that's how I want people to remember me, for just being the real person, you know. Me every day, you know. I can't be nobody else. So that's how I want people to just being real.
People.
So we spoke about passing on the knowledge, and that when you pass it on, well, there's kids and there's boys and then there's girls. And at the moment, there's something called Me Too. And at the moment in Germany, there's anti-discrimination contracts that they want to establish in theaters, and some theaters agree, others don't, and some theaters go through huge political affairs because the director is abusing some of the actors. In which way these movements, anti-racism, anti-discrimination, Me Too, impact the rap industry?
Gotta just be careful. Even before the Me Too movement, just got to be careful. You don't know what people's intentions are. You don't know if, me, coming up as a young artist, I didn't know if, anyone's intentions were pure or if they wanted to use me, they wanted to try to abuse me. I didn't, nobody knows these things. So yeah, it plays a part, when it starts to happen, and to me, it's just it's like, for me, I gotta speak for me. Yes, it hurts rap with the whole Me Too movement, but there has to be some sort of truth behind it, in order for people to continue with the Me Too, and for it to be a valid point, There's been instances where it's Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, and then they come to find out that nothing. But it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous nowadays, It's dangerous. So you got to be real careful on who you deal with, who you're around. I'm never around a young person unless there's 2 or 3 other people in the same room, because you just don't want to be accused of something that you know damn well doing. You know what I mean? So, and me myself, I don't deal with young kids in that sense, Yeah, I don't record kids. I don't think I record anyone that's under like 18 or 19 or and that's kind of by choice. I don't, also we're in a world now where, especially for me in my recording studio, was very 420 friendly. I don't know if you guys know what 420 is. 420 friendly, and young kids don't need to be around that, even though they legalized it here in New York, it's legal in California, it's legal in Colorado. I still don't think kids should be around it. So kids don't need to be around me, in that sense. So I kind of don't put myself in a position to ever be caught up in that Me Too movement, because I know who I keep around me. Know who you keep around you. That's another thing. Know who you keep around you. Know that you can't trust everybody. So it ain't just a whole bunch of new people that's going to be around me. Someone new, best believe you were brought by someone who I know for years and can vouch that you're not, going to try something crazy later, So yeah, but it plays a huge part, man, and it can hurt. It hurts rap so much. It hurts all forms of entertainment so much, But there's also another side to that too. When you have the Me Too movement and you come to find out that the person who was doing the abusing was actually doing the abusing, then it's like, wow, okay, So there's 2 sides to it. Always 2 sides to everything.
Wow. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for just rising above the stereotype, which is generalizing the South African artists, and be able to work with our Saints PMF. And you never been biased to judge them because they are South Africans. And you also didn't discriminate them and gave them an unfair treatment, You were like a brother to them. So I want to send a shout out to you, my brother. And the next question is, yeah. So I want to check now, according to the pandemic that we were going through, which can be the lead of what's depressing artists right now. How has a COVID-19 pandemic impacted in the industry of the hip hop?
It was a huge impact. Recording artists couldn't do shows anymore. If you know anything about music, we don't make too much money off of the actual streams. The artists really don't. So a lot of artists depend on doing live shows, live, performances, and there was no live shows, live performances, everything was old. So you had to come up with make money. A lot of people, pay their mortgages. A lot of rap artists pay their mortgages. They pay all their bills off their music. So live performances, you had to find another way. You had to find another niche. For me, it was consistently putting music out. It was constant, was locked in the studio. So it was like, why not just put music out and put music videos out? Get the people to continuously buy into my music so I could have some sort of funding coming in, and to maintain my career. I know some artists that didn't last through the pandemic. They went broke, filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 11, so on and so forth, filed for all kinds of pandemic relief because the pandemic hurt. They couldn't go out there and do shows anymore. For me, it also helped me get more in tune with my audience and my fan base. It allowed me to, sit back and talk with my fans a lot more to get an insight of what they would want to hear from me. So I know maybe what to deliver for them on the next project, to please my fans. So yeah, it hurt because it stopped a lot of money, especially for me. I'm a recording engineer as well. I'm not just a recording artist. So it was hard. I couldn't get people to come in and record anymore because, the pandemic, they shut the building down for 3 months. The building was down. We couldn't even have anybody come in the building to record. So, slowed down. A lot of things slowed down. Luckily, at the time, that the pandemic, had first started, I'm an essential worker. I'm a mechanic as well as being a recording artist. So at the time of the pandemic, I was able to maintain because, I had a regular job. But for some recording artists, it was bad.
As well. Yeah.
People got evicted from their homes, so yeah, it hurt. The whole thing really hurt.
We have a fun question for you a little bit. All right. Imagine you have a magic wand and you can give 3 wishes that'll be fulfilled immediately. Okay. Now here are the 3. The first wish is one for yourself. The second one is one for a person or an entity that you oppose from the bottom of your heart. And then the third is for mankind. Here's the magic wand in your hand, sir.
So you say the first one is for me?
Yeah.
Wish is for me. I wish that the world would just go back to normal and everything will open up 100%. I need to get back to DJing again and everything.
Amen.
Say a wish for someone that I oppose. One of my oppositions.
A person or a thing you oppose.
Person, I hope you wake up every day and look in the mirror and say, damn, Willie did it again. And the third one was?
For mankind.
For mankind. I wish mankind could find true and inner peace. And I wish mankind could realize that there is no such thing as a race. We all human beings.
Yeah.
That's what skin color you are. You're a human being. There is no race.
Powerful.
All right. If I was just thinking about that sentence, if there's a God, but that is not the question. We're gonna not bring this up. So what would you tell to people who are interested in a career in hip hop or rap? Kids.
Don't do it. Go to school and become a rocket scientist. Become a lawyer. As much as my fans and my people are gonna hate me for saying this, hey, become a cop. It pays more than what rap does. This is a struggle. It's not for everybody. This is what you truly want to do. Shoot for the stars. But my advice to most young people, man, go seek an education first. Have something else to fall back on. Rap ain't guaranteed. This is like sports. It ain't guaranteed. Have an education. Have something to fall back on. Whether, you become a doctor, like I said, a lawyer, to school teacher, a meter maid attendant, you know, giving out parking tickets. Do something. Have something to fall back on. Rap ain't always gonna do it, man. This ain't a guarantee. It ain't like you come in to rap and it's like, all right, well, I know I'm gonna make $1 million. We don't know that, you know. At least with a career, you know what you're gonna make, and you know the blanket that you're gonna have, and this cushion that you setting up for yourself. Rap don't have much of a cushion. Remember, rappers don't have medical insurance. We ain't got no dental plans, nothing. So, you know, until they start giving us, you know, 401ks and all that, and medical plans and everything, I'll tell you to go get an education, to go get another job, another career.
We always like to have it on air how people can reach you. You said that you actually do FaceTime with your fans. That is commendable. I didn't exactly follow that program myself when I was younger and more well known. I maybe wish I had. But how can people reach you? What is the way that they can get in touch with you?
You know, Instagram at ITZ Willie B. It's ITZWILLYB. They can reach me at Twitter. It's Willie Bostick. And they can reach me on Facebook, William Bostick. You know, I answer my fans. I genuinely answer my fans. People reach out to me every day and I answer them. You know, I get into trouble sometimes behind it, but you know, I still answer my fans.
What gets into trouble? Scammers and
yeah, sometimes the scammers, you know, and the craziness. What also gets me into trouble is some of the back and forth wars that go on between artists
in the industry.
In the middle of their little situations, and you know, but yeah.
Okay.
All right.
My brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much for availing yourself and, you know, spending this amount of time. I know, even though you are giving, you know, people an advice that they shouldn't try rap, but I know you have been in the industry for too long to know how to maneuver, how to work, how to make it work for you and stuff like that. That's very powerful. I just want to personally say thank you so much for making time to be part of the show. We welcome you to the Global Sunday Show. Each and every time you hear these weird sentences like aka Chocolate Kid, you must know it's this is your boy Lungani Kuala, and appreciating you, bro, for the information that you shared. It is so wonderful. Thanks to the whole team. I'm so sorry just to step in as always. I'm just gonna try and cut myself off because I know I'm being called a speaker because I talk too much. I know that people is going to close the show right now, and I just wanted to say thank you so much, my brother. And then yes, over to you, Mr. People.
Thank you, Lungani. Well, I have the honor to end the show actually, and to go for a last round. Like, any last words, Mr. Ludden?
Well, I just want to say, my life today got better meeting you, William. It really did. You're a very, very impressive young man, and I welcome you to stay in touch. And I would love to see if we can organize to get you to come to the academy and talk to our kids. They're going into ballet and opera and stuff like that, but it's the same thing. And I think that your message is brilliant. And also a shout out to your boys, your little boys. Tell them that they're very, very important. They are the future.
They are. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, definitely, Mr. Ludden. Reach out to me and we'll set it up.
We absolutely will. Miss Classic.
My last words. Yeah, I want to send a shout out to William Bostick, and I want to thank the Global Sundays and the families for sacrificing their love, the time, to make sure that all of you guys, you are smiling and you are sharing all these good things with us. And all the best, Williams, to your upcoming shows and projects that you are planning. And don't forget that you have a family that you started in Durban, in South Africa, my family. Yeah, so don't forget that you adopted us as your family, and all the best in life. And I want to share the words that I picked up. One word about you. You said the youth that you are heading, that you are leading, they must be real. So I want to encourage them to normalize speaking the truth. If they want to get to be real, they must speak the truth. And the families that don't understand our industry, that are having us, that will lead us to suicidal cases, they must keep quiet than speaking nonsense. I'm begging them. Keep quiet than speaking nonsense, because when you speak nonsense, we are emotional. There are no stage for us to talk out our burdens. So we're going to end up killing ourselves if we don't have someone to talk to. So just keep quiet than speaking nonsense and be fearless. Boo, 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 boo.
Wait, I have something to say. Boston, I'll be coming to New York. I'm looking forward to visit you in New York. Yes, I wanted to say that. I'm so sorry, people. Please, over to you. Over to you. I'm so sorry.
Abo, I have a passport. I'm coming too. Abo.
Well, I have that passport too. It's called being an artist. Let me write one for you. So everyone check out Bandcamp, and you can find William Bostick's music there. I was able to listen to the music. It's a platform where you can support the artists directly. It's a really good thing, and I had the chance to dive into your music, William, there. So Bandcamp, BANDCAMP, Bandcamp is a thing how you can connect directly. And I thank you all for watching. This is the Global Sunday Show. I see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.